Hello and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to do a little vlog where I read some books that are set in Toronto. If you don't know, I am Canadian. I live not in Toronto, but I live near Toronto. I did used to live downtown Toronto during university and I loved it. It is such a beautiful city and it really does not get enough hype. It is so hard to find books and movies that are set in Toronto. Even books by Canadian authors are often not set in Toronto, and I have a really hard time finding them, at least ones that are traditionally published. So I thought it would be fun to do a little vlog of reading some books that are set in Toronto. And this video is inspired by my current read, which is Born of Blood and Magic by MC Hutson. This one is an indie published paranormal urban fantasy about lesbian vampires, which is always a hit for me. And it is a vampire and a vampire hunter, which is even better. I absolutely love this. This one I received as an ARC about a year and a half ago and I never read it, so my bad. But I'm reading it now. But yeah, I started this one a couple days ago and I figured it'd be a fun thing to vlog and find some other books that are also set in Toronto, because I also own a copy of A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. I've been wanting to read this book since long before it came out. When I heard that it was very set in Toronto, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to read this book so bad, and I've never gotten around to it. So I need a reason to read it. I'm going to pick this one up after I finish my current read. At the very least, those two books will be part of this little video, and if I can find more, then I will do so. I'm going to try and finish Born of Blood and Magic over the next few days, and then once I do, I'll pick up A Dark and Hollow Star and see where things go from there. Actually, so it was really funny with Born of Blood and Magic. I've been reading that one for a bit less than a week now, and I had no idea that in this book the two characters take a trip to Japan together. And a few days ago I went to Toronto to go to a concert for an artist who's from Japan, and I was currently reading the part where they're in Japan while on the train to and from, so I thought that was a kind of a funny coincidence. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go read and I'll check back in once I finish that one, and hopefully I can also find some more books to read for this vlog. I would like to do at least 3. Alright, I have finished Born of Blood and Magic. I didn't like this book, I'm not gonna lie. I was liking it at first. It was really good for the first maybe 40 to 50%, and then it just kind of went downhill. I kind of had to force my way through it because I was so close to the end, and I was reading it for this vlog, so I didn't want to DNF, which I normally don't do. I'm typically a ruthless DNFer. I give no fucks most of the time, but for some reason I pushed through it, and I'm gonna give it a 2.5 star. So it wasn't the worst book that I've ever read, but it definitely wasn't great. The plot ended up being really silly a lot of the times. The fight scenes were just so dramatic. Everything was just really dramatic, and it really didn't need to be. I think that was my biggest issue with it. This kind of surpassed a level of dramatic that turned it into just kind of ridiculous, and I ended up not having the best time with it. I found the characters and the dialogue especially to be kind of awkward. Plot was pretty basic as well. The back half of this book just really flopped for me, unfortunately. The first half was decent. It did not hold through to the end though, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Can't win them all. I'm glad that I read it at least. I'm not upset that I read it. I'm not sure when I'm gonna pick up the next book for this vlog. I would like to soon, but I do have a couple of book club reads that I have to get to, and some challenge reads and that kind of thing before the end of the month, so it might not be until the beginning of June. It is now the first week of June, and I've started my second book for this vlog. Coincidentally, I'm also going to Toronto today again. I have 2 concerts back to back, so tonight I'm going to see One OK Rock. I'm wearing shirt for, and then I'm staying the night in a hostel. I have the whole day to hang out downtown tomorrow, and then in the evening I'm going to see Justice. I'm so excited. It's going to be a very fun trip, and I am of course taking my Kindle along with me. So the next book that I'm reading for this is Blood Like Magic by Liselle Sambury. Currently 26% of the way through, and I wasn't really sure about this at first, I'm not gonna lie. It's very YA, and I'm not typically a fan of YA these days, especially not like urban contemporary YA. It just doesn't interest me, but it's set in Toronto, so I figured I would give it a shot, and I'm actually enjoying it. The first like 10 to 15% was pretty rocky, but I am starting to enjoy it more. So this one is about a teenage witch. When they come of age, they are given a task from their ancestors, and if they pass the task, then they get to become a witch and they get magic, but if they fail, then they will not get magic, and they are also going to be exiled from the family. And the tasks are always different. You never know what what you're gonna get. And the book starts off when the main character is just about to receive her task, and she is tasked with having to kill her first love, which is a huge problem because, of course, murder, obviously, but also she has never been in love. So she has 1 month to find somebody, fall in love, and then kill them. This is also a bit of a futuristic setting as well. It takes place in like 2050 or so. It's really interesting to see this author's take on what Toronto was going to look like in 2050. There's a lot of Toronto in this book as well. The main character is very frequently traveling around the city and taking the TTC, going to Chinatown, and just visiting places that I'm very familiar with. And it's really interesting to see what this author thinks Toronto is going to look like in 30 years while still keeping the spirit of Toronto alive. You know what I mean? It still very much feels like the city, but just with some cooler technology. But all of the districts are still there and things kind of function relatively the same. So I'm actually really enjoying the setting of this one quite a lot. And I really like the characters and their family dynamics. They live in a huge house with like a whole bunch of their family. It's like the main character, I think her sister, 2 of her cousins, her mom, her dad and his new wife, and the dad and new wife's daughter as well. I think an uncle lives there, the grandma lives there. It's like so many generations of their family all in one house, and it's lovely to read about that. And yeah, overall, I'm having a great time with it so far. It's not going to be like my favorite read ever, but I am still enjoying it, and I can see it getting like maybe like a 3.5 or a 4 star. I don't know if I'll finish it over the next couple days because I have a very packed schedule, obviously. I'm also trying to hang out with a couple of friends while I'm down there too, so I don't know how much reading I'll get to, but hopefully at least some. But either way, progress will be made and fun times shall be had. Alright, and I have now finished the next book for this vlog. I finished Blood Like Magic the other day, and I had a pretty good time with it. I think I'm settling on a 3.5 star. This was good. It had some things that I didn't love about it, but overall it was a pretty solid read. I liked the characters the most, especially the family dynamics in it. I thought they were really interesting, and I loved how close-knit this whole family was. The main character grew on me. I didn't love her to begin with. It's because I find like indecisive characters to be kind of frustrating sometimes because because I am an indecisive person and I see myself in them too much and I get annoyed. But she did grow on me over the course of the book. I didn't love how the conflict was handled because the solution was really obvious from basically right away, and it was frustrating that like so many people, like this whole group of people, were all working together trying to find a solution and nobody could figure it out even though it was glaringly obvious. So that was frustrating as well. And then some things were just weirdly confusing. Like there were certain things about the magic system and a couple of conversations that happened towards the end of the book where I was just like, what? Like, what do you mean? And just some choices that I didn't really understand. So definitely not a perfect book by any means, but it was still pretty good. I don't think I'm going to read the sequel, but I am glad that I read this one. The best part of this was definitely the setting. The Toronto setting was actually a huge part of the book, and it was really fun to be able to read, especially reading it while on a trip in Toronto and like unintentionally visiting the same places that were described in the book. I loved reading this author's take on what Toronto was going to be like in 30 years, where it has all this like really interesting tech, and they've tried to like rename certain areas and gentrify certain areas as well. And there's lots of commentary on the city itself and the problems that it faces. So it was a really cool, like futuristic look at the city, but it still felt like the spirit of Toronto was still very much present. And that was definitely the best part of it. I thought it was so well done and just really fun to read. It really felt like the author genuinely cares and loves the city so much. So that was great to read. And yeah, overall, decent time, not the best time, but a good enough time. Next up for this vlog is going to be A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. I'm not sure when I'm going to start this one, but hopefully soon. I do have a couple of reads that are ongoing that are pretty chunky, so I don't want to also pick up this one while I'm in the middle of those ones. So I'm going to finish my current reads and then get started on this one shortly, hopefully in the next few days. But yeah, once I get started on that and have some updates, I will let you guys know and we'll chat then. It usually start raining immediately after I go and sit outside. Like, I had to run back in the house to protect the book. Hello, how have we been? It's the first week of July and I am finally doing my next book for this video, which is A Dark and Hollow Star by, excuse you. So I'm currently reading A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. Also, hello from Tony, who's just chilling down here being adorable. Oh my god, you're so cute. Ah, oh, he's so cute. Oh my god. Anyways, so A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. Heard of this a while ago. I'm having a really slow reading period right now. So I started this maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I'm only on page 158 right now. But any progress is good progress, so that's fine. But this one is an urban fairy fantasy, of course, set in Toronto. I also love that there is a CN Tower on the cover as well. That makes me very happy. It's multi-POV, and the main plot so far seems to be that there are humans with fairy blood being killed, and people have no idea who's doing it, but when they die they're like glowing for a bit and people have no clue what's going on. So that's the main point, and it's following a variety of characters. We have POVs from all sides, so there's people who are part of the royal court who have POVs in here, there's just some regular people, there's somebody who I'm assuming is the villain, and also somebody else who people think is the villain, but she's saying that she's not. So there's lots going on in here. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's been lots of fun. In terms of the Toronto aspect, this is excellent. I love how this author is weaving aspects of the city into this book where like you never actually forget where you are. Really interesting because the fairy court is just like hidden within the city. It's glamored behind regular things. So these characters are going all throughout the city and talking about things that they're seeing and places that I'm very familiar with. And then they talk about, you know, turning off the glamour or whatever and seeing what's behind it, which is this really cool glittering fairy court. It's so fun and I love it for that so much. And yeah, I'm just having a great time with this book so far. My plan tonight is to get at least halfway through. I'm here right now, so I'm hoping to read maybe like, what is that, maybe like 100 pages or so. I actually don't even know how long this book is. So yeah, like roughly 100 pages will take me to the halfway mark. So that's my goal for tonight, if I have time. I do also want to like edit some videos and that kind of thing today, but that's the plan at least. I also, once again, have another trip partially to Toronto. I'm passing through Toronto tomorrow. I've gone to Toronto so many times. I went there, I think 3 or 4 times just in June, which is unheard of for me. I normally go like maybe once every couple of months, but I guess just with like summertime, I've been trying really hard to like leave the house more often and go do fun things. And yeah, I've gone to Toronto quite a bit recently. One was for a friend's birthday party. I went to a Pride event at the aquarium recently with my book club. It was so fun. Had a couple concerts and a couple other things. And yeah, I'm having a great time, which is great because I'm getting lots of content for this vlog. But yeah, tomorrow I'm heading out. I'm taking a train from my city to Toronto and then Toronto to a different city to go spend the night at my best friend's house, because on Tuesday we're heading down to London, Ontario to go see Hosier in concert, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for it. It'll be my 3rd time seeing him and it's gonna be a blast. He's also playing with Mariana's Trench of all people. Kind of a weird combination of things, but I don't mind. I like that band too, so it's all good for me. But yeah, that's the plan for this week while I am making my way through this book. Probably take this with me on the train as well so I can get some good reading time in there as well, because I'm going to be on the train for literally 5 hours tomorrow and 5 more hours on Wednesday when I come home. So I'll have plenty of time to read.
Another bucket avenue. My bag is ripped and rolled. Let it go now, so take what you want, take what you want, take what you want. It's the stupid things, but go to sleep at night. You wake me up and kick me out about at 3 a.m. Pick up the phone and you're saying anything, so you do what you want, do what you want, do what you want. You know when till I start to miss you. Take me home, I don't wanna be alone tonight. I don't want to show you up. I don't want to you to get outside. Can't stand my fire anymore.
Good morning. How we doing? It is Friday, the 11th, I think, of July, something like that. I got back from my trip a couple days ago and had a blast. Hosier was amazing, as were the other bands, but I was, of course, there for Hosier. So I sadly did not get as much reading done as I was planning to on the trains. I did read some, just not as much as I could have, because I was mostly like editing videos and napping, honestly. 5 hours straight on a train, kind of a lot. But for some reading updates, with A Dark and Hollow Star, I'm now just about 60% of the way through it. So I'm on page 298 right now. So making some good progress here. I am liking this one. I'm just not as invested as I would like to be. It's good. It's fine enough to finish it, but I really doubt that I'll read the sequel unless the ending like blows me away. But I'm having an okay enough time to carry on with it, you know what I mean? Just for the sake of finishing it, basically. And then yesterday morning over audiobook, I also started reading River Mumma. This one is a magical realism story about this woman who's like in her early 20s. She is Jamaican Canadian, and she is tasked by the Jamaican deity River Mumma to find her missing comb, and if she fails, then the deity will disappear, and she only has 24 hours to do it. That's where I'm up to for the plot right now. I'm about 35% of the way through it. The audiobook is so good. The accents, perfection. I'm having a great time with that one so far. I think that's really all that I had to say. I just woke up. I haven't had coffee yet. I probably should have waited until I was more awake and thus able to articulate some semblance of thoughts into sentences. That would have been wise, but I didn't do that, so here we are. So I guess just a real quick update on what I'm currently reading, and I'll check back in once I have more thoughts and can actually articulate those thoughts. So I just went to edit my last couple clips of this and I can't find them. So I think that I may have thought that they were weekly vlog clips and deleted them. My bad, but I had two clips, one where I had finished my last book and then the one after that talking about the other book plus wrapping everything up, and they're gone now, so I guess I have to redo those. So I finished A Dark and Hollow Star quite a while ago now. It's been a minute, and unfortunately I did not love this. This took me 3 entire weeks to get through this book, and like, yeah, it's a long book, but it's not so long that it warrants 3 weeks. I just had to push my way through this book so hard, and normally I wouldn't do that, so I don't know why I did for this one. I just really wanted to like it, so I kept reading it hoping that it would get better, and it just kind of never did. I don't think that this is a bad book, it's just very much not the book for me. I found the characters to be kind of annoying after a while. The setting was super cool. I loved the Toronto setting for it. I thought it was so much fun. I think I was saying in the last clip how the fairy realm was just kind of glamored behind the regular city. So that was really fun to just see all these landmarks that I know and love, and then have the characters kind of take off the glamour and see this glittering fairy court behind it. I thought that was really fun, really cool, and very well done. Also, the idea of the High King of Fairy loving Timbits is hilarious to me, so that was a great time. So yeah, the Toronto setting was definitely the best part of this. But unfortunately, the rest of it just really fell flat for me. Again, the characters, didn't love them. The plot was fine, but just nothing special really. A lot of it was also really predictable too, and same with the writing. The writing was fine, but just nothing special again. So unfortunately this was not great, and I'm really sad about it. But it is what it is. I've at least finished it. I'm definitely not going to continue the series, and I'm probably also going to unhaul this copy of it, sadly. Shortly after finishing that one, I also finished River Mumma. This one was much better. I think I gave this one a 3.5 star. Kind of similar feelings where it was really good but didn't stand out to me that much. I definitely liked it way better than I did A Dark and Hollow Star. I think this one's definitely the strongest book that I read for this vlog, but even still, it's not one that I'm going to think about for a very long time. Once again, the Toronto setting was the best part of it. I really enjoyed these characters just going all over the city, you know, doing their whole quest thing. I think honestly that was my main issue, was the quest element. I used to love books that had to do with the quest, people running around trying to find something. It used to be really interesting to me, but I think over the years I've just gradually liked that less. Now I find it kind of boring and repetitive. They run to one area because they get a clue that the thing that they need will be here, and then something goes wrong, so they go somewhere else and something goes wrong there, and it's just like over and over again the same thing, where after a while it just kind of feels pointless. And I definitely started to feel that way towards the end of this book, but luckily it was fairly short, so I wasn't at least in there for too long. I think if this book was any longer, it would have been more like a 3 or 2.5 star, but it was the perfect length where I was just starting to get bored with the plot and then it ended. But either way, this was a pretty good book. I did enjoy it, and again, 3.5 stars. And then the last book that I was going to read for this vlog was Direct Descendant, and I have read this now, but I'm not going to include it in this video because it's not actually set in Toronto. The back of the book literally says a modern day horror fantasy whatever set in Toronto, but it's not. The main character lives there, and she's there for the first maybe 3% of the book, but the rest of it takes place in a small town in Northern Ontario, which is like way farther than even where I live. The entire book takes place far outside of Toronto. But yeah, not set in Toronto in this one, so I'm just not going to include it in this vlog, which means it is the end of this vlog. At long last, I've literally been filming this for almost 3 entire months. I thought that I would get through all of this in like maybe a month, maybe like a month and a half, but no, 3 months somehow happened. I don't know, couldn't tell you. Unfortunately, I didn't have any books that I loved. There were a couple that I liked and a couple that I really didn't like, but even the ones that I did like, I was pretty neutral on. Honestly, I did consider scrapping this vlog because I really wanted to come to you guys with a whole bunch of wonderful Canadian books set in my city that I could gush about, and instead ended up with a bunch of 3.5 star or less. And 3.5 or 3 stars is still a fantastic rating, but for me, they're the books that like I liked them, but I didn't love them. And I was really hoping to have a bunch of books to share that I love, but sadly that was not the case. And yeah, I thought about scrapping this video, but honestly, I put in a lot of work for this, so I am still going to put it out there. And just because they weren't the books for me, maybe they'll be the books for you, and you will end up loving them if you pick up any of them. And Canadian books in general are not talked about nearly enough, but especially sci-fi and fantasy books set in Canadian cities. So even though these weren't the highest rated books for me, I still think it's good to put them out there and get people talking about Canadian books more often. So yeah, let me know if you end up picking up any of these books. That'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video.